Hey, science students. I'm Mr. Walker. Hopefully you recognize me from my bio. Bear with me a little bit. This is my first time using this screen capture video technology, so maybe a little scratchy at first, but I just want to run you through what a typical week looks like. So I'm actually going to just take a week that you guys will encounter later in September in our mixtures and substances unit. But I'll just run through briefly. You'll kind of figure some stuff out along the way. Feel free to play around. But I'll run through a typical week. So this is essentially when you get into a week, you will have that previous screen. I'm not sure if you'll view it exactly like that. I'm looking at my view right now. So you'll have, you'll always have a week overview. So if you look at the top here, it's just kind of an introduction, some basic ideas there. You'll have a weekly planner. Now, this is an online class, so you do have the flexibility to work on this whenever you see fit. That comes, however, with a caution in the fact that you can easily procrastinate. We all procrastinate, and sometimes we have to face the consequences of that. So, all of these weeks will open essentially on Monday morning and will close on Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So that's something to keep in mind with that is that if you think ahead with that, the last 2 days of the week that you have to work on your schoolwork, if you save stuff for the weekend, are Saturday and Sunday, 2 weekend days. That being said, if you save a lot of work until the weekend and have questions, you might be on your own. I will not always be available. I would say more often than not, I probably will not be available on Saturdays and Sundays to respond to your questions. If you look ahead and you see some things that you know you can finish up, no problem, then knock yourself out. Go ahead and use those days. But it would also be nice for you to finish things by Friday and actually have a weekend. That's good for you. Take some time off. So let's just get into this. Let's look at this. We got our weekly planner again. And again, you can see here, I give you some general suggestions. If you wanted to space things out, this would be a suggestion for basically finishing on Monday your 3 states of matter and your writing prompt, Tuesday, documentary part 1, and so forth and so on. And then you basically work your way through this, activity by activity. And it's going to be varied. That's the nice thing about science, is that you are going to have a mixture of, you're going to have some readings, you are going to have some activities, you're going to have some virtual labs, you're going to have some videos, and you're going to have some projects. So there's always varied things. Some things to keep in mind is if you look here, usually this little icon is just a page icon, and I usually try to identify what it is you're looking at. I don't know that I've done it with every single activity that you have along the way, but like for example here, it says a reading. Right? So you could click on that, and then a lot of these are hyperlinked in here. So it says explore this website. So you could click on that website, go through this. It did say fill out the chart in your notebook, the chart you had done on the previous slide here. If you look at this, 3 basic states of matter, you're going to have here to access a chart. Click on that. Anytime I give you a document, it will always prompt you, unless I missed any, it will always prompt you to make a copy. So you have your own copy and you don't end up editing my original or something like that, but then you have it in your drive. So you could click on that, make a copy, and then you can rename it up here if you'd like. And then this is the chart. So you don't necessarily need to know that now. Get rid of that. But if we go back to the week, I'm trying not to run through every single thing with you here. Writing prompt, documentary, things like that. Things to look for, notice, and I tried to make this very obvious. Anything that will actually be physically graded by me says graded at the end of it in all caps. It shouldn't be something you miss. There's background information, just like a regular classroom. You have, some days where you work on things and there's nothing that you turn in that day to the teacher. It's just background information, maybe some research you need to do, some reading, you need to take notes on something, and then you will do one of these activities. Sometimes there are discussions, as you can see here. Sometimes it's a writing prompt. Sometimes a little quiz in there. And in general, the way you'll see this set up is that each week will have anywhere from 2 to 4 graded assignments. And so that's what I tried to design this course around. And again, it's always varied. Obviously, you're not going to have an even distribution of readings and labs and things like, and videos and things like that. But overall, you have a nice mix in science class. That's about it. Like I said, I'm not going to click on every single one of these, but just know that those are something to keep in mind. And each week is basically set up like this. Obviously, you're going to have different activities, but you are you're going to have the same type of structure, if you will. And then there's always a little weekly wrap up here with our friend Yoda. Okay? Check yourself, you must, before wreck yourself, you do. And it's just a review. Did you learn those things? I know some of you will probably skip over this. That would not be wise, because if you don't know what one of those bullets is there, you may have missed an entire slide or something. So just take a peek at that. And it also gives you a preview of coming attractions for the next week. And then you won't be able to access the next week until that Monday morning when the week opens up. It opens up a week at a time. All right, well, thanks for watching this. Didn't make it too long, a little over 7 minutes. Bear with me. There's going to be some glitches along the way. There's going to be some things that I'm learning myself. I've taught online summer school. It was a little different format. I've taught science for 17 years, so the content's not the issue. Some of it's just the template of Schoology itself. And so we'll work through some of those things together. There's not going to be too many people in the class. I think as of right now, there's only 3 people, for the semester. It's going to be pretty small, so we can kind of work through that stuff together. Again, use my information. Feel free to contact me at any time. But again, be careful with your procrastination and do not save everything for the weekend and then realize that you don't know what you're doing and expect that, I'm going to be sitting on my phone waiting for you to, email me and ask a question. Who knows, I might be camping for the week. I might be out of cell phone range. I might just need a break from my job and take the weekend off like you should. So try to finish your stuff by Friday night. But everything is technically due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. All right, guys, looking forward to this semester.